Welcome back to the third and official episode of Peace of Mind with one of your hosts, Destiny, the first-gen college student and revolutionary.
And your other host, Arianna Collins, also known as Artist ASAP, and also a first-generation college student.
Okay, so Arianna, like always, tell us what we're talking about today.
So this week's episode is going to be about getting back with your ex.
Oh.
Yeah.
To get back with or to not get back with, though.
Yeah.
So let's just dig in, right? What would be a reason somebody would go back to their ex?
I think a reason is that the love is still there. They still have feelings for each other, and they kind of probably just want to reopen the can of worms to see if it can. No, for real, but no.
Yeah.
A lot of people just want to give it another chance again. Like, we know we did wrong, so let's try again.
Yeah. Do you think that people do that to clear their conscience, though? Like, if I did you wrong and I get back with you and I get it, quote unquote, right this time, does that cancel out that I did you wrong the first time?
It doesn't cancel out, but it kind of says that you forgive me, though, and you accept it, so we should be able to move forward.
We should, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to advocate for, let's choose sides here, right?
Okay.
I'm advocating for not getting back with. I'm going to just choose mine.
You would give me the worst side. Nah. Okay. I mean, I definitely think it's good and bad, though, so.
Yeah. You're right. Mm-hmm. You're right. I don't know. I just don't believe that you should reopen Pandora's box. Mm-hmm. Like, once you, like in the last episodes, I believe in closing chapters because, like, learning, obviously, from being hard-headed. If you do not close out certain things, it'll come back and bite you right in your butt, like, literally. Mm-hmm. And you suffering more than you are healing. To an extent. So it opens up the conversation for, can you even heal in the place that hurt you? Like, can you heal with the person who hurt you?
That's a good question.
Right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm strongly against getting back with your ex. Do what you will, right? You know, go with your heart, but like also listen to your mind.
I'm strongly against getting back with your ex if it's not a good space to get back into. I don't think that, sometimes people have to take space, and with the space that they take, they find themselves and they find, fault in what they may have did, because I think I've definitely done that before. It's taken me, you're in something, you can't really see it as a big picture. You still in the mix, you kind of have this involved lens on your face. But when you remove yourself, you can kind of see where you went wrong and be accountable for your own actions. And so, and I'm also a person, like, I like the same over. Like, I don't really like new people. I don't like new things. If we can't fix it, I would rather fix it. Right. So.
And I think that point that you brought up is the comfort zone, though. Mm-hmm. When you don't like new, you want to stick with what you know, because it's not necessarily old. It's just what you know, right? What you're comfortable with. Excuse me. Right, what you're comfortable with. But comfort zones, sometimes, because it feels familiar, it feels safe, right? It feels like you know what to expect. And a lot of times most of us, like literally all humans, don't like the idea of the unknown. Like, if I don't know, then I'm not comfortable. Mm-hmm. But usually taking those types of chances when you don't know, you go out there and you find something new or whatever, you never know, right?
Right.
So why are we so comfortable kind of, steady going back to that old thing? Because I've done it like 1,000 times, ridiculously.
Mm-hmm. Me too, you ain't alone.
Ridiculously.
And I'm still advocating for the positive side, and it didn't work.
But you have, the hope, the optimism for it, right? And I feel like mine was crushed. Like, I was like, no, I can't keep doing this to myself. Granted that I have an interesting type. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people who just ain't got it all together in their head, clearly. But yeah,
I think there's definitely, I don't know, because there's a pattern that people also a lot of have, especially with dating our generation, of this on and off thing, and so sometimes between those off periods, there's too much done to come back and be on again. But I'm just like a advocate for, if you know what you want, go for it. But I do definitely agree about the comfort zone thing, because I have trouble with even, this is what it is for me. If you've already hurt my feelings, I'd rather you, and this is not okay, but I would rather you keep hurting my feelings than some random new person I go meet and they hurt me, and like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't even got the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just...
Yeah, you don't have the capability to even be hurting my feelings, and here you are thinking that I get it,
Exactly.
and me, I wouldn't even go as far as saying toxic. I would say that it's a mindset, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't want to label it good or bad. I want to label it something that you choose. Like, what do you choose, right? Because I've done before too. Like, I'm not just going to go through this with somebody new. Let's talk about, let's go to Instagram real quick with it. Influencer Jada Chivas.
Oh, Jada Waiter. Oh, that's a good comparison.
Yes, and Lil Baby, right? Mm-hmm. Or his real name is Dominique. We're going to call him his stage name, Lil Baby. They have an on and off again like thing. And she said in the interview the same thing you said. Like, well, why would I give up on him when there's going to be just somebody else do the same thing to me? Mm-hmm. I think that when I heard her say that, I heard her give away her power. You think that's what you attract. Like, you think you only deserve that type of love. And that's not, I mean, we all see she deserves better. I'm not going to lie. He can foot the bill, he can pay for this, he can, and he handles his business with his kids too. He's a good dad, I could tell. But that doesn't mean it stops with him.
So I want to know, because like I said, I do believe there's both sides, but what is too much for you not to go back? Because I feel like there's some situations where you can walk away and come back healthily. Mm-hmm. But what is too much for get back together?
I would say that moment when you kind of know it's over, like, and I don't know how to explain it because it's different for everybody, but everybody has that same feeling. Like when you know in your heart and your gut, trust your gut, it's over. Like there's no coming back from this. When you can't even look at the person and be like, I still see the good in you. Like you don't. It fades like over time because every time there's a penalty, like every time they break my heart, right? It's just tallies. And although we're resilient, we are very resilient. We always get back up and try again. Yeah. I don't know why, but whatever. We always try again. But once I have to just look at you and I'm just like, oh my God, why am I here? Like,
but I think that comes from a process though. Have you ever heard of people you constantly go back until you just until you hate them? Yeah. I'm like that. Mm-hmm. I have to lose every ounce of hope, belief, love, liking, attraction. Every single ounce has to be gone for me to leave you alone or else I'm back. Yeah. Hey.
Hello, territorial, Miss Territorial, but I'm the same way. I can be the same way. I won't lie to you. I can be the exact same way. Like, I don't know. I'm looking for another reason, right? Another reason to quit this time. That's what I like to think about. Yeah. It's like, I'm just looking for another reason. Because maybe this time he's going to do something and it's going to be enough. Mm-hmm. But in reality, nothing is ever going to be enough until you decide. Like, this is enough for me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like a lot of the time, especially being younger too, we will be in a relationship until we lose our pride, our dignity, our sense, our anger, our tempers. Like we just lose it all. We just losing it, and now we crazy. We look crazy, especially to your parents or to your loved ones. Like they looking at you like, who are you? Mm-hmm. Like when did this happen? Yeah, and then you look.
Yeah, I want to add on to that because I definitely think there can be a creation of a destructional person from that type of hurt that you get from keep going back. And I want to speak on myself as well. Yeah. I feel like I once remember myself being this like loving, gentle girl who couldn't hurt a fly. Yeah. And now I don't even see myself. I feel like it's impossible for me to see a fly and not hurt.
I would say swat it.
Exactly. And I think it probably has, a lot of reasons, but since we're on the topic, it probably was something that developed between me constantly going back and constantly overextending myself because I think that, I feel like when you hurt I'm the type of person I know I'm not perfect. I make mistakes too. So, and I know other people are like that. I'll keep going back to you because I don't want to fault you for your mistakes.
Ooh, yes.
But it's not always like that because you can do something and it's like, it's done. And that should be okay though because people have different tolerance levels. Mm-hmm. You can't tell someone how much to tolerate of you just because you tolerate this much of them, and that's where that going back thing could get confusing.
Exactly. You have to love people during those stages. Love them into understanding, not trying to force them to understand what you see. Yeah. They deserve this, they deserve that. Like, yes, you do know that, but they have to want to see that. But what you said, that just and this popped into my head. Triggers. We don't know our triggers and our traumas until we get in those volatile relationships and stuff like that. And okay, I'm gonna use myself as an example. I was watching Tina Turner. What's love got to do with it? We call it Tina Turner. Black people always mention the name or something. Yeah. But what's love got to do with it? And so when she went over her friend's house, right? Her name was Jackie. She went over to Jackie's house. They were talking, and then she finally told Jackie why she couldn't leave Ike. Mm-hmm. She said, I know what it's like to have somebody walk out on me, so I can never do it. Like, I can't leave. Because what Ike and her did, let's rewind, they trauma bonded. Yep. Like, they was like, I know what it's like to have somebody walk out on me. Oh, me too. Oh, I'd never do that to you. But that's what kept her there, because she realized it, but she didn't alter that mindset until she had to. She turned to spirituality and all that other stuff, and she saw herself outside of her relationship. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a big thing. Like trauma bond, or not even trauma bond, but like just feeling like you can't leave. Like, because you know what it's like to have people leave. Me personally, especially, like, even if when my cousins came from Mississippi, this was way back when, like I was probably like 8, 9. They came back. We was chilling. We was kicking it. They all girls, and I have all brothers. So when girls come around, I'm like, yes, finally somebody with sense. No offense, fellas, but like having to live in a house with all dudes, it's a little ridiculous sometimes. And then they were only there for a weekend, and they got in the car. I remember like just hugging them, and I started crying, just breaking down, crying, and I forgot that memory until after I got out of an unhealthy relationship, and I realized, like, my whole thing is I don't want people to leave me, so I think I can love them and sustain if I don't leave them. And that's not healthy.
Yeah, and we're a generation in general, I think we deal strongly with detachment issues.
Yes.
We don't know how to detach, and we are afraid to detach. And I think also, for me too, coming from the type of background I'm from the west side of Chicago.
Period.
We lose a lot of friends. A lot of people die all the time. So I have found myself, and I've even talked to my therapist about this, what I'll do is, especially if I know you're involved in any type of way, whether it's you're doing it or you have family with anything dangerous, I'm going to forgive you because I don't want you to die. And because I've had that before. I have a friend, and she, Lauren, and she passed when I was like 13, but I just remember we was arguing little kitty stuff, obviously, and we praise danced at church together. But on Christmas she got in a car accident, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like the last thing I said to her wasn't nice. And so ever since then I had like this thing where I just want everybody to know I love you so much, I care so much, because if you pass, at least I know that, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so when I detach from people and I detach from relationships and dating in my environment, I'm dealing with dudes like that. So now I'm also keeping people around for me not because they're treating me good, not because they made me feel happy, but because I don't want you to die and we're on bad terms. Yeah.
So first, I'm sorry you have to go through that, right? Especially because losing people it's hard. It's hard to process. It's hard to understand. But you said something big, like to forgive first. And just so that we can kind of stay, like, to put it back on track, right? We just, basically, both of us kind of just told our stories of, like, healing to an extent or understanding, right? Like, once you get out of a situation and then you have this understanding with yourself. Well, so with all of that work that you put in, right? You put in all this work. You're trying to, all right, I'm going to do better. I'm just got my job. I just got back to school. You know, my skin on fleek, you know, my hair is long, you know, stuff like that. You put in all that work just to go back?
Yes. Oh my gosh. And you know what? This is a good thing to brush into too. Another reason a lot of people go back to their exes is because oftentimes we experience the worst times of our lives with people sometimes. And so when you get to your best, like, and I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience, I deal with this every day. I am 20 years old. I'm in my own apartment. I moved out Chicago. I see positive things and do a lot more than I've ever able to do, or my parents was able to provide for me, you know? And so now I'm at this space where I'm grown and I've detached from a lot of people, but I want to bring all these people with me because when I didn't have nothing, you was there. When I didn't have my own apartment, we was homeless. Right. I stayed with you.
So you feel like you owe them?
I do. And it's something that I deal with and I'm learning with every day, but it's because, and it's not just to owe them, but I just want to show you my appreciation. Because a lot of these people, and even for me, like I said, where my background coming from, I don't think I would be at the point that I am without your little help. Even if your help was this just much, like if it was our friends, we had a relationship and your mom gave me somewhere to stay for this time, now I feel like I owe your mom the life. Yeah. Because if I would have never had that safe space. Though.
You have a really big heart. You know, it's super big. I can tell. Like, you have a really big heart. And I wouldn't like downplay that at all. Like, but you did bring up a good point. Like, when we accomplish these things, right? Personal story. I felt like when I was with okay, so I've had 3 real relationships, whatever. The second one, we're not gonna name him, but the second one, I felt like he was kind of trying to keep up with me, right? But like not in terms of material of stuff like that, like, but like my mindset, like I'm willing to evolve, I'm willing to grow, I want to go to school, I want to see more than Chicago, you know, I want to do things big. And he kind of just saw a block, like, you know, the block. I want to kick it, I want to, you know, just be fly all the time. And so, like, we wouldn't belittle each other. We'll try to help each other. But once, like you said, once I went to school, everything changed. Then it was like, okay, well, I'm accusing you of this. And I feel like you think you better than me. And, you know, just blatantly telling me, like, he wants to, like, humble me because I enrolled in school. Anyways, but yeah. But the thing is, you would think, like, I would know my worth and all this other stuff. Like I said, I'm going to be honest. Like, it's been so many times where I didn't know my worth. But I started kicking with him again, like maybe a year or two after the breakup. But this time I was kicking with him for him to validate me. Tell me like, oh yeah, we on the same thing now. Like, I can keep up with you now. Like, I feel like I was trying to keep up with him. Yeah. Keep up with his lifestyle. He even visited so many places in the city. He's had all these different types of food, stuff like that. He's an explorer. He likes to explore. And I'm like, okay, just tell me I'm good enough. Like, just tell me I can kick it. Just tell me I can hang out too. And he would do a lot of like manipulative stuff, like invite my former friends out type stuff, but don't tell me nothing about it. You see, because he knew I was chasing his validation. Yeah. I gave him that power. And that's why I'm a very strong advocate. Don't go back, because you're only going back for them to try to heal something that they hurt in the first place. You want them to undo what they already did, and they already did it. Yeah. Heal yourself, help yourself, because you're going to end up in sticky situations. And he was also an abusive person too, but whatever. We don't got to go to, like, mentally though. Like I said, it was just that trying to keep up mindset. And then I look back now and I'm like, you look at my resume and look at yours. Yeah.
So since we're talking about breakups, I want to ask you, what do you think are some big signs, and this is for relationships and friendships, of this friendship is coming to the end, this relationship is coming to an end? No, seriously, because I know the people need to know. I need to know. What's the sign? Let me know.
I'm real big on red flags now, because I didn't even know my own red flags, and I even tell people my red flags at the time. But look, with friends, let's start there. Friendships. It's about to be over when they stop liking your stuff on Facebook and Instagram, when like they're no longer tagging you in things, because we live our life on social media. A lot of our friendships are established through social media. So social media changes, then they're going out, you seeing that, on the internet, they kicking in with such and such, and you didn't get no invite, you didn't get no text, and you get those messages like, oh girl, but you always so busy. I thought that you wouldn't want to come. Like, not you trying to come for my hustle. Excuse you. What else? Like, women have a way of doing things. Men do too, because men are no different when it comes down to when friendships are going to be over. It's the same thing with dudes. They're going to start moving different. I will even use my boyfriend, for example. They stopped inviting him out when he got a new girlfriend. Yeah, I think that's weird, but let's not talk about it too much. They stopped inviting him out as much. He posting pictures. He never posts pictures. Like, never. He's really a ghost on the internet. Post a picture, nobody liking it, anybody commenting. But you look at a picture from 2 years ago, they all in the comments. Oh, bro, you look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, hyping them up, overly sharing it. It stops because people show their feelings through their platforms.
So do you believe that social media presence determines relationships and friendships? Because that's another thing we can talk about. A lot of people, especially, they break up because you don't post me enough. You're not telling the world you love me enough. And for me personally, I don't think it's that important. Yeah,
it's not that important. But what I will say is, if I'm taking my time to post you and post little things, like I'm vlogging, I like the media. I am a social media type of person. I even consider myself a micro influencer. I like that. That's what I do. And if like we talked about love languages, if you know how I show I love you and how I appreciate you and how I need it in return, and you don't give that to me, then we have a problem, because a lot of people do need to be validated through the media.
So is that basis enough for breaking up with someone? Because so they love you good, but they don't show it on social media?
I would say, I can't determine that for you, but what I will say is that, like, you a gem, right? You a gem. You deserve to be shown off. Yeah. Nobody should be hiding you, because then they sleeping on you, and then they tell you little stuff like, I just don't want people to follow you. I don't want nobody liking your post or whatever. No, I feel like you're trying to hide something, because why can't you do it? Right. Explain that to me. Why can't?
I mean, I definitely feel like there isn't a reason you shouldn't be able to, but I think social media presence, and kind of determine, since we're on breakups off of a social media, it's kind of toxic, because even though we are growing up in a generation of social media, like you said, even before you met your boyfriend, he was a ghost. We all have different relationships with social media. We all have different access to the type of devices we need to access social media. So, I don't know. I think I'm kind of in the middle. I do definitely like to be shown off. And like you said, I'm a content creator. I post music. Yes. I post music videos. I'll post everything, but I ain't posting my man. Not no more.
Don't even say why, because I know where you're going with that.
Not no more. And it's honestly, it's not even just because I know what you're thinking, but it's not just because of that. It's just that I found out that I like to share, like go watch my video, go like my music videos, but things that are really dear and personal to me. Yeah. I don't like social media to know, honestly. I don't like you to have an opinion on it. Your opinion, because it doesn't matter. Your opinion or how you think our picture looks, anything, because a lot of people are watching to hate. They not watching because they supporting you. Or
they just hating.
You know?
And I noticed once I started flooding the media with because I like to show my dog off. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I love you, I'm gonna post you. Like, you're gonna always be on my page. I'm gonna wake up like, what is a good picture of them? I don't know. Like, even right now, they can take a picture of us and I will paint us, like, because I love this. Like, I love what we have here, you know? So that's how I express myself. But,
then you break up. Just be on the topic. And now you got all this stuff. See, that's what I'm saying. You got all this.
That doesn't bother me. It can be deleted. You know, it can really be deleted. I'm not going to get my name tattooed on my forehead and all this other ridiculous stuff. Like, no, that's too permanent. Yeah. But, like, it can be deleted. And even then, I don't go through stuff and go delete it. I still have, like, tens and thousands of pictures because I've had my iPhone for so long. And I see stuff sometimes like, why you still in here? And I delete it. I'm not, like, one of those people that get real butthurt and mad and, let me delete these messages. I'm changing your name. I'm blocking you. No, because I know you're going to come back, and I know I'm probably gonna let you come back.
But you just y'all heard her. But she said she don't go back though, and that's
I accept. I'm
saying. With and this the whole, since we on the topic of breakups, like I said in the whole social media thing, I think another reason I don't do it so much is because I know, especially in our generation, breaking up is a possibility. Yeah. It's not, it's always a possibility. It's always a possibility, but I think heavier in our generation because, like you said, we both go into situations with I'm expecting to leave. Like I want to love you, I want to be here, I want to be your friend, whatever. But at the end of the day, I know it's a possibility, and we kind of, as a generation, bank on that possibility.
And you're right.
And I probably do that too because, like, with the social media, I don't want to post and stuff like that or have that validation for our relationship because then we also, when we break up, we have to. I like to take my L's in private.
That's what I'm saying, right? So that's the thing, is taking the L's in private. People go to the internet and argue. See, the thing about me and how I post is, like, even if I'm into it with him, like, if we're not good, you're not going to know we're not good. I'm still going to post him. I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember we went on this date and stuff like that. Because I'm going to remember the good times. Because I actually want my relationship. I want it to stay. And so I'm not going to think negatively, and I'm not, you know. And like I said, it's just social media too, and nobody across the phone can judge me. Yeah, like, that's just what it is. Like that's what it boils down to. You're across the phone doing that. Like really, you don't know me. But yeah, I do take my L's in private too, though. Like just to relate to you on that one, because I'm not posting those times. Like you said, social media makes people think a lot of things. Like, oh, they look happy, and I know people talk about that, like, oh, you know, people don't want to show the negative, but I'm not interested in broadcasting the negative parts of my relationship. Yeah. I think it opens up the door for too much stuff. Like you said, dang, like we really did. You kind of helped me realize. I do. I used to accept people come back a lot, but these days it's over with. Once you think you're gonna leave, I'm gonna text you and tell you, you know, make sure you stay on because I'm not interested. Because you're not gonna keep on triggering me. You know, I went to therapy. I'm still in therapy. You're not gonna hurt me.
I feel you.
Yeah. So but the thing that we both said is that we both are taking steps, like in counseling. You know, we're trying to understand ourselves more. And I think that's pretty much what anybody needs to do. Because if you go back, you go back. And that's not the worst thing in the world.
It's not.
If you leave, you leave. And maybe that's not the best thing in the world either. Yeah. But to take the steps to heal yourself is the biggest thing. Like, break up or make up. It's like, whatever. Make up with yourself.
Yeah. So what are some steps that we can use in healing from our friendship and relationship breakups?
Oh, man. You put me on the hot seat with this one because... I don't think I do it.
I think one is that's really good is even if you're not communicating with the person or you can't communicate with the person, communicate with yourself. Journal, talk to somebody, talk to a therapist, something like that. And I found for me personally, journaling helps really good because it's still a conversation. It's just on paper, and you kind of can revisit it too, like, you know what, this is how I felt. I remember I felt like this, and it can prevent you from going back. Now, I have done something where like I said, I make content and stuff like that. I like to do video diaries. I record myself all the time, and I remember the last time that I left that relationship that I was always talking about, I recorded a video, and in the video I was like crying. But I was like, when you go back, you thinking like, I need him back, just remember this. Because it was a real bad moment. But I needed that to revisit and to see and stuff like that. So
no, but I relate to that. I actually screenshotted a really terrible text message I got from my ex one time because I had the tendency to keep going back. And he would always try to break me down verbally and stuff. I screenshotted and I made it his profile, and I was, you know, contact photo. Yeah. Because every time you text me, I see what you said. Yeah. Every time you call me, I'm going to remember what you said. And this is not going to go well for you. Don't call me. Don't text me. Leave me alone. But yeah, also healing through spirituality. I don't try to push it, but I do advocate for it. like, you know, having those moments where you are undoing, you know, you crying, like you said, you crying. And I've recorded myself doing that before too, just crying, letting it go, releasing. I like to do stuff like that. Any items hold energy.
Yeah.
If he's ever bought me anything, it's been sold on Poshmark, to be exact. It's gone. Like, I'm not interested in keeping it. I don't want no old t-shirts. I don't want no old basketball shorts. I don't want your hoodies. Like, I'm cool. Yeah. It's all, because those hold energy, like, and that's the memory. And I don't, to keep that on replay, it's not healthy. Yeah, just trying to do things like that to really not even distract yourself, but to remind yourself of where not to go back to.
Yeah. And I think also finding new hobbies is a really good one too.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, like try to find things that you do and enjoy that y'all may have never done together. Yeah. Because, you know, you might find enjoyment in there, you find beauty in other areas of life and things like that. And I don't know, just
yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
You make me feel like good and stuff. I'm about to go home and journal. Oh, reading books too. So basically what Arianna and I have established here is that it's okay to start over. It's also okay to go back, but only after you've done the work and they've done the work necessary for it to be a relationship again. Use your resources like journaling, writing, singing, rapping, dance. I dance. Like, I dance even before we did this show. Like, before I walked in the door, I was in the car just grooving, just dancing. Like, just getting, you know, lifting your spirits up. But to practice those things. But, you know what I mean? I guess, would you say that's all?
Yeah.
Did I miss anything? Well, that's our show. Thank you for tuning in to episode 3.
Yeah.